So, how's it going?
It's going great. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's Friday. All right. Well, why don't you tell
Absolutely.
me a little bit about your background and then we'll get into kind of what you do now.
Okay. So basically, I'm still pursuing my graduation.
Okay.
So I'm studying finance, but I am a person who is very enthusiastic and pro about technology.
Okay.
So I started with technology about 3 years ago. I started coding. I started to learn about AI and whatnot, basically. And then almost a year ago, I started with learning how to actually implement AI. And then I
Okay.
started my own agency. I have previously interned at a marketing agency where I worked with HP and other Fortune 400, 500 companies.
Okay. Cool.
And there I got to know about a lot of problems that are faced by big companies related to content or things that are done manually. And from
Okay.
there, working with them, I got to know these problems. I started brainstorming on these problems and I came across automation. So automation just clicked me. I started to go deep inside it. I learned a lot about it. And then from there, I started working with other people, solving their problems for absolutely free. And that gave me like a portfolio to maybe start working with people who will actually pay me. So yeah, that was it. And
Yeah,
then I
it
started working in automation and AI agents basically.
cool. I know I had someone ask me a question one time, like if money was no object, what would you do with your life? And I'm like, I'd solve problems. I love to solve
Yeah.
problems. I love to dig into the problem and see what the details are and then be like, okay, I have a solution for this. And then, you iterate on that solution because it starts out.
Hmm.
The first
Hmm.
one's not great. So let's go back to what problems so before automation, what problems
Hmm.
did you identify? What were you solving?
So the agency I was working with had HP as a client. They still
Okay.
do. And
Okay.
I still have contacts over there. I still help them out with some things regularly. So the main challenge they faced with these companies was because they have like a share of voice in the market. So they would
Okay.
want to maybe go to YouTube, maybe go to Instagram and have their socials checked and verified. So people talk about their products on various different platforms. And it's really hard for them to actually go out there, scrape data from these many platforms, and then they come with it and then maybe analyze it and then see what is going on in the market. So that's the first market share or brand voice in the market right now.
Okay.
So that included a lot of data scraping. So what I helped them out with is, so let's say YouTube comments. We would use Apify, we would use other different platforms. We would scrape almost, let's say, 2,000, 3,000 videos.
Uh-huh.
And from there, we would scrape over a million comments maybe. And then we use that identify what is the share for HP, what is the share for Lenovo, what are
Okay.
people
Yeah. Yeah.
talking about, how is the sentiment going on, and those things will give us a lot of pain points, a lot of things that we want to improve on the product side, maybe on the marketing side. And from that data, what we would do is we would create a lot of content that we would push on multiple platforms, answering on these specific pain point questions. Could
Okay.
be on Quora, could be on Reddit, could be
Uh-huh.
on Slack communities. And that's how we basically try to organically create awareness about the product, maybe show how a certain product is superior than our competitors. And that's basically the term or the method or the process they used to do, but it was all manual. So there was
How,
nothing that was
how,
done with AI or
how do you do
automation.
that manually? Like how long does it take? How many people?
I mean, yeah, exactly. So people would like a person would be there to just scrape data, and then
Uh-huh.
other data scientists would be doing the sentiment analysis, doing the data thing. But with AI now, one person can do the whole job.
Yeah.
The person can come out with a report itself. They don't have to hire maybe five people to do the job now, and it's so much faster. It's so much efficient, and it's so much cost efficient as well.
Yeah, and it probably doesn't complain about that it's scraping data all
Yeah.
day, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So this gives the brand an idea about how they are performing in the market right now and what kind of feedback are they getting from the customers. So it gives them two things. That is one, the feedback. The other thing is the main pain points in the market that the competitors are not touching maybe, or what they can touch with their product or maybe their content as well. So it gives them insights to how to create the next ad,
Correct.
maybe
Correct.
how to create the next content strategy for their product, and that's how the data helps them out with.
How often would they do this process? The full
So
scraping?
this is done quarterly basically,
Okay.
and then so once a quarter it is done, and then what they would do is this data would help them strategize on what type of content they have to push in the next quarter. So they would be doing Reddit, they would be doing Quora, they would be doing YouTube comments as well. So they would go like they would have people go on YouTube comments and then maybe put certain comments to actually have some kind of positive reviews over there,
Uh-huh.
such that people such that it's kind of like manipulative, but
Uh-huh. Correct.
they
Correct.
they
Yeah.
yeah,
I know
it's
it.
that's
I
how
can.
the big
I
brands
almost
play
can't
right
even
now.
imagine it now, right? Doing that by hand
Yeah,
because with AI,
yeah,
I mean, like you said, one person, how long would it take to do that from end to end?
yeah. And I think this has ruined some kind of platforms as well, because let's say with Reddit, most people go there to find genuine answers, but
Uh-huh.
but now with AI and a lot of agentic stuff, a lot of that is actually manipulative. It's not actually a genuine answer over there. It's some kind of promotion over there. So a lot of brands, what they're doing is, a lot of SaaS platforms, what they're doing is they would post a lot of Reddit content, because first it pushes their AI SEO. So
Uh-huh.
because
Correct.
all these chat GPT, Perplexity, they would use Reddit as a source for the
Uh-huh.
answers. That gets them onto the answers of the people who are using chat GPT or Perplexity. So that pushes their SEO as well. And a lot of people who have these problems would go on Reddit, find the answers, and from there, if they feel the answer is genuine, they would be redirected to the website, and that gets them a lot of new users. In a way, a lot of people are also doing GTM with Reddit itself. Yeah,
Cool. So with AI and automation, how often would a company like that, would they still do it every quarter or would they still do
yeah,
it
they
more
do.
often?
With let's say with HP specifically, what they still do a lot of Reddit content and Quora content, because new questions and new queries are still being posted every month, every day, and then uh, they want to be the first person to be there, such that whoever lands on those answers next time would be seeing their answer first. So
Right.
that's their strategy, to be there at the right time,
Correct.
basically.
Because essentially with automation, you could do it every day, right? You could
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
scrape and
So,
post and, analyze every single day.
yeah. And with social signals, so with automation and AI agents, what you can also do is, whenever someone posts about something with a certain keyword, it would automatically detect it, put that question into your database, and then the next time you're trying to build answers, you can just use that as well. So
Cool, cool.
essentially, you can have social signals from Twitter, Reddit, Quora, or even LinkedIn, basically.
Cool. Well, before we get in, I'll ask you about how you gained this superpower of automation. But before that, are there any other big problems that you saw out there?
So I think the next problem I think there is I have worked with uh, a real estate company as well, and the major issue with them was because they do ads as well. A lot of people come and see their ads when they're free, or that's usually at night. And
Hmm.
then if they are curious about the property, if they're curious about something, they would just call them. But
Okay.
because there is no one to pick up the call
Because
after
it's
seven
night.
o'clock, yeah, it's nights. No one's working, right? So what we did was we put an voice agent over there. So the website number would automatically change after 7 o'clock.
Okay.
And then if someone calls on that number, an AI agent would pick it up, take down the necessary details, and schedule a call for the next day, basically. So that so So basically, if they do have missed calls, the part of someone going to the website calling them would just be like, okay, this AI agent picked it up. A real person would call me the next day. So we do give them an assurity that a real person would call you, but this is a virtual assistant who would
Huh?
help you out with a certain
Right,
questions that you have with the property. So the agent is also connected to the database. So it would
right,
have
right,
the knowledge about a certain property. So it can answer questions about it. It can answer how much is the price range for a certain property, and then it will schedule a call for tomorrow. So it could be like when is the best time to call you tomorrow? They would give you a certain time, could be 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and then it would register that as a ticket. And then the next day, a real agent would be calling them.
Yeah, those, I mean, that's amazing. Of course, the phone, and now they can have full-on conversations, right? You could even,
Exactly.
have a voice agent and AI have a full conversation, answer questions, figure out their concerns, get their contact number, all that type of stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
I don't know about you, but I'm a firm believer that we can't take humans completely out of this process. Like
Exactly.
that's a good one.
Exactly.
They want to hear a person talk to them and call you up and
Exactly.
hear about, why what are they looking for? I need a place because I have a dog or something like that. Some sort of human
Mhm.
connection. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, but people want to
Yeah.
call at night and have someone answer the phone, and nobody wants to be up all night answering the phone.
Yeah. Another
Well,
problem
cool.
that this specific AI agent can solve is people hire a lot of people for their sales. So sales rep would just call people and they won't pick up. So
Uh-huh.
that takes the time for them to actually put on a qualified lead goes down, and then they would waste a lot of time. So what these agents can do is they would call people. If someone is picking, they would mark them as, maybe let's say they'll score them on a certain aspect or
Yep.
a KPI,
Yep.
and then a real agent would call them later on because they have qualified a certain score. And then because they're picking up, the agent does not have to spend time on qualifying a person or checking if they're actually picking on a certain time of the day.
Uh-huh.
So that saves a lot of time for these reps and they can close more deals with this.
That is cool. Yeah, I've heard about people who are they'll call people, and if they'll call them a couple times, and if they never respond, then they'll put them
Yeah.
on the AI list. And after like 48 hours, the AI will call them like every 2 days
Mhm.
just to keep on
Yeah.
trying to get in contact with them. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great problems and great solutions that I know is cool. We love problem solving. Let's go back to how did you start getting into automation? Like read a book, take a class? Did you hear about it?
Yeah, so I was just scrolling through YouTube and I came across Zapier.
Okay.
I thought, okay, I thought that's something that's cool because Zapier has been in the market since a long, long time.
Yep.
And I think in 2023, late 2023, they started with this automation that included AI in it. So
Hmm.
AI was new then, automation was new then, and then I started playing with Zapier. It helped me a lot with my content writing as well. So uh, that was addictive to me. So because it solved a problem for me, I thought it can solve anything for me. So I started with Zapier, then Make.com came in the picture. I started learning Make.com. It was very useful to me and a lot of stuff. And then uh, I think over a year ago, N10 came into the picture, which is an open source
Huh?
tool basically, and that's the best thing ever because you don't have to pay for it. First of all, it's completely free and it's so much customizable if you know how to code basically. If you know JS, if you know how to handle JSON, you can basically do anything with it. So I've heard people uh, automate their whole job, which pays them almost 100K over a year, and they have completely automated their job. So they don't work because they work remote. They don't have to do anything basically. So
Interesting.
it's
Yeah.
it's it's really good.
Yeah.
Automation is good. If you have a job and you are not trying to look into automation, that's not something you should do because I think most of us can automate at least 30 to 40% of our workload with these tools and with AI agents basically.
Do you have an example of what you've done to automate your workload? Besides like the
Okay.
problems that you solve like for clients, but your own like
So
workload.
yeah, so I think with my workload, what I do is I I sync all my tools and all my data into just Airtable. So I use Airtable as my
Okay.
main dashboard. From there, let's say I want to uh, send someone a specific thing, I would have automation set up that I would just click, and then it will send them the email with the specific something data. Let's say I got an invoice. I have to sync that invoice into my Notion. I will just
Uh-huh.
click something in Airtable and it will automatically go into Notion and it will create an invoice over there. So I don't have to do manual data entry stuff. I can just use Airtable as my second brain and it will do it everything for me.
That is cool. I mean, I think most everybody like has appointment reminders, right? Or automatic booking. That is just like the beginning of everything.
Exactly, exactly.
That's basics. Next, you got, how do you get it? I have it so I'll wake up in the morning and it'll tell me like, oh, here's the things you need to do. Here are the tasks that are
Hmm.
outstanding. And then start it. I want to get to the world where it even has started to. I've drafted a couple emails for you. Here, go and
Hmm.
review them and so on. I try to think about it like hiring like an AI employee. They just wake up earlier than I do. They don't know everything I know. They know a lot about what I
Hmm.
know, but they need my approval. But yeah, it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's coming soon, I think. For now, you can build like an AI assistant with anything
Right,
that would have access to your calendar, would have
right,
access to your database, your CRM basically. So you can like tell it to draft an email to your client or maybe draft an email to a team member or get you the to-do list from your project management tool. And
right,
it can do a lot of stuff. So you can customize it with what tech stack you have. That's the way to go, basically. You can have it on Slack, maybe Telegram or WhatsApp, whichever
right,
platform you use the most. You can
right.
have the assistant over there.
Yeah, it's definitely I use Slack. That's one of my favorite tools. So it integrates pretty well
Hmm.
with that. And then I use like for organization, I'll use Trello. And so Trello has lots of
Hmm.
integrations into all those tools, which is pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
just the act of moving a thing from like one column to another column can trigger an action that does all sorts of stuff. So it's really
Yeah,
cool.
exactly. Yeah. I think a lot of stuff is going on with AI right now, and I think most people don't see it as something that they should implement in their business because a lot of small businesses are afraid of implementing AI because they think it would take their uh, team members' job, or maybe it would be harmful for their business because it can sometimes AI can be very destructive as well. So, person I know was trying to do cold email and they had hyper personalization with AI.
Uh-huh.
What the AI did was it enriched the data with LinkedIn as well. So the person who they sent the email had a LinkedIn post where they attended some event that was something religious. So uh, it drafted an email where it was like, "Hi, I saw your LinkedIn post. You attended this event, and have you ever heard of that specific religions some term? I don't know what it was, but it was very offensive, I feel. So sometimes,
Apparently
yeah,
AI has not gotten the message. We don't talk about religion or politics.
yeah. So sometimes it can over personalize an email or maybe over personalize some stuff and hallucinate a lot. But that's something that is still being improved in
Correct.
most
Yeah.
LLMs.
Yeah, I can say I've seen it's gotten a lot better even in the past 6 months or so.
Yeah,
It used to really
yeah, yeah.
like, what are you doing? Like, I have no idea. What did you make? But then I would even ask like ChatGPT, like, did you just make that up? And it would be like, well, yeah, I had to fill in the gaps because I actually didn't know the knowledge. Well, I'm like, at least it's honest. Yeah, I've gotten into that
Yeah.
too, where I have it critique itself. Like, hey, that was great. Now critique yourself, and it does come back with some pretty cool stuff. Um, Probably not
Mm-hmm.
something a human does that well is critiquing themselves, or even like there's so much knowledge out there. You can say, hey, what would Elon Musk think of that reply, and or some other famous person, or President Trump. Well, how would he respond to that? So,
Mm-hmm.
well, cool. That's very interesting. Are you ready for the rapid fire questions?
Sure.
All right. What's a bucket list item that you haven't done yet?
I wanted to go to Europe this year, but I didn't go because things came up and a lot of stuff is going on.
Okay, okay. That's a good bucket list item. I've only been to Europe once and it was just on for work, so it wasn't even that exciting.
Yeah.
What's one book everyone should read?
I think it's hard things about hard things.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a good one.
yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. So it's really good. I feel if you are struggling with your life right now, or if you feel you don't have the spirit to move on and do something, that's a book you should read because it guided me a lot because I used to procrastinate a lot. I used to overthink a lot. So yeah,
Yeah, take action, do something. I know
yeah,
I like that idea of get 1% better every day. And then
yeah.
you think about after, 500 days how much better you are. But yeah, that's really cool. Name one technology example that has let you down.
I think I think it should be presentations because I used to do presentations with my tool that is Gamma. I think you know about it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think we should never use that tool again because it sucks. It sucks. I was in a hurry and I just put a prompt over there and I didn't see the slides. I took it to a meeting and
You're
it
like,
embarrassed me a lot.
uh-oh. Cool. If you had the chance to go to outer space, would you?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
Okay. Yeah, we actually didn't. Some people just went up, some rich people. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Now
I
here's a
mean,
little bit deeper thinking of one.
mhm,
If AI advances to the point where it can perfectly replicate your expertise and thinking,
mhm.
right? So it perfectly replicates you. But you can embed one core principle into that AI, like your humanity. What would that be?
Honesty would be the first thing because after a point, AI could be manipulative
Hmm.
and because it would be able to think on its own, it can act on its own. It won't be very transparent with the humans. That's just my assumption. But to make AI work for humanity, I think the first thing would be to teach it how to actually sync up with humans and be a part of us, not
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
something that is going
Interesting. Yeah.
against us.
Yeah, honesty. I mean, I think everyone in their life has to deal with whether they're going to be honest or not. And I know I've had to be honest in
Mhm.
times where it was hard. That's like a hard thing. I've
Mhm.
never regretted being honest on it, to be perfectly honest. I've always thought that was really hard. I could have made it easy, but every time I'm honest, I will do it. It would be interesting to see in the world of AI what honesty means. Maybe it's only the
Yeah.
humans that will tell the truth. I hope not, but
Yeah. I
cool.
mean, with technology, people are gonna manipulate you a lot because I think over a year ago I saw deep fakes of a lot of people,
Oh yeah.
presidents, and that was something terrible because our world is heading towards more destruction, more war,
Hmm.
and these things will only escalate it. So that's really bad.
Yeah, that is another big issue. Using technology, it went way back into misquoting, right? It's like misquoting on steroids. It's now misquoting with AI and
Yeah.
pictures and video, and you can try to show people, oh yeah, that's terrible. I totally agree. The destruction is not good. I don't like the polarizing trend that we're headed. So well, cool.
Yeah.
I think that wraps up our talk here. I will thank you for coming on. It's been great to meet you.